What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Tuesday, April the 29th. Can you believe it? We're almost halfway through this year. It's absolutely wild. We're here to break down Monday Night Raw. I'm stoked about it. I'm Clark Taylor. I'll be your host for the day. But I've got two of the Tuesday favorites riding with me. I'm going to send it out across the pond to a friend of mine. He's the host of Take It to the Table, but he's also the reason for an RC Tuesday. And I'm stoked to be back. What is going on, Chaos? How have you been?
What's good? What's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. You know, I'm always here. I'm excited to talk about this latest episode of Monday Night Raw. It's been jam-packed full of events. And it's all going to be good. So also quick shout out as well. Take It to the Game will be streaming tomorrow night as well, about 7 p.m. Going to be dropping down in Verdansk, placing little Warzone and whatever else. And so come and join in the fun on the Twitch channel. But let's get straight to it. This is Monday Night Raw. Let's go.
No doubt about it. But do check out Take It to the Game tomorrow night, no matter where you are, for sure. But before you do, also let me introduce my next guest. I'm stoked. We haven't been able to hang out more than the one time, I guess, briefly for a second since we've gotten all the way here. But it's Mr. In the Bank himself, our resident John Cena expert, and the man that handled quite a bit of watch along duties while I was away and would handle them anyway. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Jordy, Mr. In the Bank, as I like to call him. What's going on?
Beep, 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 beep.
Cheers, Chaos. I appreciate that. I just thought I'd bring a little bit of that back. He doesn't really do it anymore. You know what I mean? He puts it behind his head and it's all miserable. So I thought I'd bring a bit of life into the Tuesday show. No, it was a good show last night. I'm really excited. Some turns of events, some things. Man, what was with the crowd? They did not care for Sami Zayn last night, did they? So there's a lot to talk about. And I'm excited to do it with you guys.
No doubt about it, Jordy. Let's get right into this first segment here because we had an interesting deal. Seth Rollins now aligned with Paul Heyman, as we're all so excited about since night one of Mania. Sami Zayn appears to arguably be the first challenger. We have a little Braun Breaker influence here at times. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. This has all thrown me for a loop. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just now back. I've been out of town for 10 days. I've got a plane cold. And I don't mean that as in Plain. I mean that as in like airplane. Plane. And I'm a little bit stuffed up. I'm going to go right back to you, Jordy. Talk to me about Seth Rollins and all of this when it comes to the Sami Zayn deal, the new group, Paul Heyman, the direction here. I mean, it seems like the death of the bloodline as well. We don't need to necessarily mention that, but woof, right? We're not going back now, are we? I don't know, man. A lot to unpack here. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, it really is a lot to unpack. And like I mentioned before, partly for me of why there's so much to unpack is kind of because of the crowd reaction to it at the end. I thought initially that the reason that Sami has kind of been picked for this role is to look. Let's break down kayfabe for a second. We look at this group. We look at Seth Rollins. We look at Braun Breaker. We look at Paul Heyman. Like, it's hard to not like it. It is hard to dislike that unit together. So I really thought they picked Sami to be like, if they mess with Sami, like we'll start to see people turn on them. Especially when they kind of told the whole story of Seth and Sami as well and how close they are in and out of the ring. I really thought that moment last night was to kind of start the booing towards those guys and to hear everybody singing Seth's song as he stood in the ring with Sami just after taking about 15, well, maybe not 15, about 4 or 5 spears on the bounce, followed by a stomp. And they're singing Seth's song. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy, but this is a fantastic group. The dynamics are already there. We're already starting to see it shift. Seeing last night Paul Heyman coming out with a bit of swagger again behind Braun Breaker, almost like, look, like you're messing with both of us here. Whereas, like with Roman for so long, he was, giving it the old like my tribal chief this, my tribal chief that, walking behind him, almost like worshipping him. The way he walked out with Bron Breakker last night, he was like walking alongside him, like, "Yeah, you want to go? Like, we'll go. We'll have a tag match, Paul and Bron versus Sammy, and find a partner." So, yeah, it's heading in the right direction, and that's the thing. It's hard to not like it. It is really hard to not like this group. So, what they're gonna do to really make us start booing them? I don't know.
You brought up a great point there, Jordy. It's like sort of this juxtaposition where the story is so intriguing, it's hard not to enjoy what's going on. And they've done some heelish stuff. They did heelish things last night. They did things that we should very strongly dislike. And as you mentioned, the crowd in the arena, not so fast.
They
Didn't
were more
necessarily.
behind Seth than ever.
They
Like,
were chanting Seth's
is it
theme
because
song.
we wanted this for Seth for so long to be like, he needs a heel turn, he needs a heel turn. It's a bit stale. So now he's finally got it. It's like the crowd are singing his song more than ever. It's crazy.
It's a total it's like we wanted a step up and he took two at once. So how could we not be excited? Yeah. Right? And that I think is a great point, Jordy. But Chaos, I got to ask you about this one, man. What were your thoughts on, first off, like the opening segment, all of that? Then, of course, we have the Braun Breaker decimation at the end of the show and everything with Sammy is followed by the blackout. I can't handle not calling it the stomp, but that's just maybe me. But at the same time, what were your thoughts on it, Chaos?
Yeah, this was beautiful. And it just felt, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it just felt it felt like so grown in terms of how they were telling this this story. And I think because I'm still washing up that old regime stank, where it's like, everything has been thoroughly explained to you, everything is as clear as day. But this just felt like just such a grown up storyline, and I'm here for it. I can't really explain it, but yeah, it just felt different compared to what we've been getting, the past 4 years, regarding the Bloodline saga and all. And not that I'm complaining, but it just gave Raw a different feel, and I'm here for it. It looks like, obviously, they're teasing multiple angles, regarding Sammy, probably turning the heel and whatnot. But yeah, you could feel that this is definitely something that has a very long-term end goal. Like, so, with in the previous, again, I feel like I don't want to keep bringing up the old regime, but every time, when WrestleMania is done and dusted, if you're like me, sometimes going on the dirt sheets or anything, they always get reports saying, okay, this is going to be the end game for next year's Mania. This is what they're planning to do, but you don't see it develop on TV until maybe Royal Rumble season. Whereas this feels like something that could easily culminate at next year's WrestleMania and be you could tell that Seth Rollins is going to be the main character through both shows and leading into next year. And I'm here for it. I feel like, you can definitely about potentially place where things are going to happen. And obviously, I'm not trying to call myself a booker, or I'm trying to think, this should happen at this point, but you can see where the possible trail could lead up to, and it will be ending up, as someone's already said in the comments, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, like I said, obviously Rumble is going to be happening in Saudi Arabia. I mean, there was already a hot favorite for that one. I don't think anyone else could compete with that. And then it's going to ultimately, you can see that there's something building up. I don't think they're going to rush this regarding Sammy and Rollins to really have a final blow off. And if anyone that deserves a WrestleMania moment, a defining WrestleMania moment, sure, he already had one 2 WrestleManias ago. It would be Sami Zayn to have his own individual proper crowning moment to culminate at WrestleMania 42. So yeah, I'm loving this. I'm very intrigued with the faction. I'm quite glad they're not even really rushing with a name or anything like that. You just know that this is the dominator. This is going to be a dominating force to be reckoned with. And I'll be fine if it's just them 3, or I might maybe add another one at some point. But yeah, I'm here. I'm here for it. It's definitely gotten me over the annoyance of The Rock not being at WrestleMania and choosing not to show up because he just can't be bothered and everything else. I'm just excited for the future. So yeah, and I feel sorry for Sammy. He took devastating spears left, right, and center, but I'm here for it. Love it. Brilliant presentation for everyone.
Sammy completely did get the brunt of this, but I agree with you. I think this was awesome. And there was a really cool quote from Triple H, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but he basically said, what if, every year we sort of expect WrestleMania to be the end of the stories, right? Like the final chapter. What if this was the start of a new great one? And that's something I do think we kind of overlooked after that night one press conference. And
I think no, sorry, you go on.
No, and that's what happened. But go right ahead, Jordy.
No, I was just saying, I wonder, right, and this is maybe cynical thinking. I wonder if they're trying to make SummerSlam better this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. Maybe they want to actually make that the show of the year just for this year. And they knew that they were gonna end on a bit of a damp squib with Cena winning in the fashion he did. I still think I still think The Rock should have been there, but I just wonder if they are gonna, if rather than like you said, almost the way the book is they look at Mania, maybe this time they were looking at SummerSlam rather than Mania and building stories to that.
And this is where it's fascinating to me too, because you bring up a great point. SummerSlam is 2 nights at MetLife this year. Mm-hmm. It's like WrestleMania 2 in 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying WrestleMania 2 by number, but it's like the second one, right? We already had 2 nights of Mania, but if you look at it,
I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're really trying to revitalize the big four. I mean, I guess they're not really doing that with Survivor Series just yet. Well, they kind of are in terms of the stadium that they chose. I feel like, like with the big four, I think they're really revitalizing it with the 2 nights. And so just, like you can't miss these. They're going to really, they're really pivotal pay-per-views or PLEs, so to speak.
Right. They're trying to revitalize the whole big four. And that's where I was going to go right back to you for a second, Cass. Like, you've obviously attended Manias at MetLife, where SummerSlam is this year. It's larger than Allegiant. It's about the same size as SoFi. This is arguably the biggest SummerSlam of all time. Would you not agree with that? Right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think that will definitely it will definitely do good numbers. I mean, getting to the MetLife ain't easy, but but yeah, no, I think it will be a great experience. And the stadium's great. I definitely love MetLife. When you get there, it's like no other. The atmosphere is crazy. The acoustics are just it's good. When you go on when you get on a good day and the weather's right, it's a great stadium. 100%.
100%. And I'm in agreement. And obviously, like you said, the travel is the only difficult part. They have solved some of those issues since last time. They've kind of gone out of their way. Good. So like, I do believe it'll be easier to get in and out fan experience wise. Now, one thing I will mention, we brought up Survivor Series briefly before we go to the next topic at Petco Park in San Diego. Mm-hmm. That is right down the road from me. I've never been more tickled. That Southern California, right? You've got SoFi, you've got the Intuit Dome, you have Crypto Arena, you've got Angel Stadium, which is a 55,000 seat baseball stadium in Orange County. And then you have Petco Park. Petco Park is such a cool and easy to get in and out of venue that hosts a lot of fans. I will be stunned if Survivor Series doesn't get rave reviews as far as fan experience is concerned. Petco is one of the best places in the whole country to watch a baseball game. It's one of the easiest places to get in and out of. It is designed because it's new to get in and out, but it's also kind of an old school. The architecture is old school with modern amenities. I will be stunned if we don't have rave reviews coming out of that one.
Am I correct? Am I correct in saying that the All In Texas is at a baseball stadium as well?
It is. That's so. All In Texas is at Globe Life where the Texas Rangers play.
I thought so. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if they kind of not copied what AEW is doing, but it feels I
think they'll build to stop people being able to see in without a ticket. I think they'll build the ramp up, because it's an open stadium, Petco. I think that's where they'll build the ramp. Obviously, not just to stop people but to maximize the amount of people that can get in the venue.
100%.
That's obviously where you're going to build your ramp and your stage, isn't it? So, like,
one of the coolest things about Petco is because of the weather, you don't need a roof. in November. Like it's going to be open air. But the best part is the buildings across the street. You'll be able to sell tickets on the rooftops to watch into the stadium. It's a very old school, cool feel. Like when they announced Petco Park, I was like, oh, that is a heck of a good get. And to your point, you talked about All In being at Rangers. Globe Life, they're going to put a roof on that. It's going to be 98 degrees outside. Not the band, no Nick Lachey, but they're going to put the roof on and air condition it, and everyone will be fine on that. It won't be hot inside the building. And it's got the biggest parking lot in the world, right? They're in the same parking lot as Jerry World AT&T. So it's like you could park 500,000 people and like get them into that parking lot at some point if you wanted to. But Petco is an interesting. It's really cool. I'm excited about both of those. But let's keep it rolling this show. I could talk about the stadium stuff for the rest of the day if I had to, no doubt about it. Let's talk about Roxanne Perez and Julia potentially now being a team. We obviously saw Roxanne take on Rhea Ripley last night in what was an interesting encounter, to say the least. But then Julia's involvement, I think, is what I don't want to say mattered the most. It's a DQ finish and everything, but I've been saying it's got to be Monday Night Roxanne for months now, over on Off the Air. Monday Night Roxanne and Julia, I'm cool with. If they are a tag team now, it just bolsters the tag team division. I just want more answers next week. I do want to get your thoughts on this one, though, Chaos. It's two really great talents involved together and teaming up. How about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Roxanne Perez and Julia. Roxanne Perez, I think we've all said it, like she's been overdue to be getting called up, and I'm glad that that's happening. Julia, I'm not saying that she needs more time in the oven regarding NXT or anything like that, but I was quite surprised that they're calling her up so soon. She, as far as I'm aware, like she just won the NXT Women's Championship, and then she lost it in quick fashion, was gone for a while, and then come back, and then completely forgetting about Vaquer, and then starting this thing. So it's a bit haphazard. But I mean, there may be a reason. I'll be honest. I have not been watching. I don't watch NXT. So that's why you guys watch it and going off the air. But yeah, no, it's the match itself regarding Rhea and Roxanne Perez was a fun match. Roxanne can work with anybody and put on a very, very good match. And you could tell that Rhea Ripley was having fun. They have good chemistry. I think definitely something down the line they could do a proper rivalry between them. I'm favoring this team regarding Roxanne and Julia. Most likely we're gonna get Io and Rhea versus them two at Backlash, which I'm here for. It is what it is. I think it's a good startup, especially for Julia. Working with top superstars. She's not thrown in some mid card feud, and neither is Roxanne Perez. So it's a great starting point for them on Monday Night Raw. I think Raw is the best place for them right now. They're gonna get maximum exposure thanks to Netflix and everything like that. And I'm loving their work. It's early days, but yeah, I'm liking it, and I just want to see what's going on regarding Rhea and Io, because obviously, somehow I think that Rhea is going to still force her way to get another title shot against Io. But yeah, it's a nice placeholder for now. But so all in all, it did what it needed to do, and I just have to just roll on Backlash. I'm here for it. So yeah.
I am 100% with you, and it's funny because with the Rhea and Io aspect, I got confused last night, and I was like, we need Rhea and Io, and it just blended together, and I basically said Rio, and I was like, I didn't mean it like that. It's gotta be
else.
Yeah, no, sorry, that was separate. But yeah, no, I do think that's the direction as far as this is concerned. And then the tag part, I'm on the same page as you, 100%. I think
I just hope they don't get blended into the tag team division. I'd rather see Roxanne and Julia doing individual stuff. I feel like if they end up being a tag team, I just feel that they're going to end up like PFC. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'd rather go on.
To your point, want to see like a partnership as opposed to a tag team that can develop into a tag team run.
See, I'm in a different
boat. Your back.
I would like to see a
You've
faction.
got mine. You want to see a
Yeah.
faction?
I think if there's ever a time where NXT could send a group of 4 to 5 women up to the main roster to wreak havoc in a similar way that the Nexus did, I think now is the time to do it. I think they've got the talent. I think NXT would take a hit at first because obviously you're taking 5 big names away, and the women's division is probably one of the best things about NXT right now. So it would take a little hit at first, but I also think it would give opportunities to people who maybe are in the shadow of a Stephanie Vaquer, which, let's be honest, is, I don't mean this in any bad way to NXT, but it is a developmental show. I would say that she's perhaps overqualified to be on that show, which is why she's getting matches on Monday Night Raw and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So even throw Steph in, throw Cora Jade in, take them 4, and I think you're still leaving NXT with like a decent women's division, and they can kind of just create some chaos on Monday Night Raw. But
Uh,
just worry because
Well,
Seth's got a faction going, hasn't he?
we'll see, because like right now, factions, especially women factions, haven't got a good rep right now. So it all depends.
We got to
on
change
they can
that.
do it.
yeah, I
Got to
mean,
change that.
Yeah.
we got a bunch of comments too, really quick. We need a strong women's faction from Just Apart, our good friend. What's going on? Yeah, I agree. I'm on Team Roxanne all the way. And then Roxanne is a good main roster gal from David Modge. I love that. And then Aunt You official with what's up, brother? What's going on, Aunt You? Good to have you as always. Let's talk really quickly though about our friends over at Etsy. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please do so. Download the Etsy app on the App Store or Google Play Store and head to the upcoming stream section. We really appreciate it. It's going to be awesome. Join all of us, me and you, who's in the comments over there, as well as Cam Takes, Wrestling Takes, all of us. As long as you got a cell phone and a microphone, you can argue with us about whatever you like, and we will have a great time. I assure you, you'll love it. But let's keep today's show rolling because this one is fascinating to me. This one is absolutely fascinating to me. I've followed the Pat McAfee show since he retired from punting for the Indianapolis Colts. And through Barstool, through independent stuff on the YouTube, they've been the same show. And he's always had a passion for pro wrestling and obviously got involved and whatnot. I think this is one of those things that I get maybe if you're skeptical because it's Pat McAfee and it's Gunther. They're basically polar opposites in this industry if you really think about it. But dang, can Pat cut a promo? Dang, does he have charisma? I'm a fighter? Come on, man. I love it. I love it. And he did a great job with Adam Cole. He's done a great job on commentary. I am not sick of being entertained by Pat McAfee in the least. I'm sick from sinus stuff. That's a different issue. But at the same time, Pat McAfee has been on fire, especially since he's returned since college football season as a part of the WWE commentary team. To now get involved in the ring with somebody as dangerous as Gunther, man, am I impressed. Because we're going to see it. We're going to see it. Jordy, what are your thoughts on this one? Because they got to be a little different. I've got a little different history watching the McAfee show because I watch it for sports and whatnot. I would imagine that's not the case for you as much, right? Your familiarity with him is through wrestling. So I really want to know how it landed through that lens in your eyes.
Let's have it. I'm here for anyone that is gonna say, listen, if you mess with my boy, then you're messing with me. So let's fight. I like it. He delivered the promo very well. In all seriousness, he did. Whether you like him or not, he made it somewhat believable. Not that he could stand a chance in that sense, but believable that he is that mad about what happened to Michael Cole and what happened to him that he's like, I don't care what happens. I'm gonna do it because this is how I've lived my life and I've never backed down before, so I don't plan on doing it now. So like, it's hard to not get behind that. It really is. I'm excited in a different breath because I've been wanting Gunther to be in a non-title feud since he dropped the IC belt a year ago. And he kind of launched straight back into the world title division, which we knew he was going to because he was always going to be champion in Berlin, really, wasn't he? But I'm excited to just see kind of pride at stake a little bit. I expect Pat to give him a go, but breaking the fourth wall. I think that is probably going to be a way to write Pat off TV for a little bit, and he'll go back into doing football, which again I like doing in a more creative sense than Pat going, "Okay, guys, bye. I'm going to do my other job now until Mania season comes back." So yeah, if that's the way that he goes out, then let's have it.
100%. I love it.
Agreed.
And we've got a bunch of comments too. Pat is natural at this. He acted like he can win too. I love that. David Hall
Yeah.
said Pat's gonna die at Backlash. It's very possible. And then David Modge with
Yeah.
Gunther is the most dangerous wrestler in the business. I think that's part of the brilliance of this. It's
I'm
so
always
much.
here to hear his music and everyone sing it as he
Yeah.
walks out as well. I'm always here for that.
And people
Yes.
and people seem to forget, like obviously I think people still got that stank from WrestleMania 38. And you know, they're just like, okay, that he can't do much, but that's different. I mean, if you go back and see these matches with Adam Cole and whatnot, they were better than they needed to be. They were better than they had any right to. You know what I mean? He can go in the ring. So don't worry, yeah, he will die. He's gonna die, and he's gonna get forced to be going back to commentary at his other job. But yeah, no, I'm here for it, and yeah, I'm glad to see Pat McAfee in a likely good match than what we got in his last outing.
I think also, to your point, like you said, a likely good match. Gunther can get a good match out of Pat.
Gunther can get a 5-star match out of a mop,
Yeah,
wet,
that's true.
dirty mop, and it will
I'm
be
not
great.
gonna lie. I did at Mania weekend watch him in Noro Suzuki against a doll match that
There you go.
didn't quite land. Didn't quite land. I also watched the same thing against Butterbean, and that was.
I was about to
interesting.
say, I was like, I'm sure like, what about that?
I thought the mop was slightly more exciting, personally, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. Pat is on brand though. The guy was the most athletic puncher in the NFL. He's the last person to recover his own onside kick. There's a reason he did kickoffs. He's one of the most athletic punters to ever play. The reason that they would call fake punt scenarios on 4th down to him where he'd run the ball, unlike any other punter in the league, is because they trusted him. And so Pat's athleticism is not to be, denied. Does that mean he's going to beat Gunther? Nope. No. Absolutely not.
Goldberg spears Gunther.
Yes.
When's he coming back for his last match, by the way?
Woof. Maybe never.
He's coming back in January. Because where is that being held?
It's going to be he and Mike Jackson at the Collective at WrestleMania 43. It's going to be 70-year-old versus 70-year-old. We'll see how that works out. Either way, let's go on to our main event of the evening here. We got our current world champion here, Jey Uso, taking on Logan Paul. I don't have much to say on it yet because I want to hear what y'all think. As much as I just praised Pat McAfee, and I think Logan Paul was great as a pro wrestler, not necessarily outside of that. I don't know what to think about it being Jey Uso's first big rivalry. That just feels a little bit like, let's put more eyes on it. Here's your tray of appetizers. Like, it just, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way in some way that I can't even hardly explain. Jordy, I can see you stroking the beard there. I'm going to go to you first on this one. Can you explain it to me?
I think Logan might be just tied into a contract that like keeps him throughout Mania season, and then he has a couple of weeks off after Backlash. But I think maybe perhaps it's a way to get more people back behind Jey Uso, because it's hard to not be in the corner of the guy that's going against Logan Paul. Not that people weren't, but you know what I mean. Like there was that whole discourse when on the build up to the Gunther match and stuff like that, people doubting him. So I feel like not everyone turned, and obviously he still got that huge reaction. You just had to listen and watch the crowd at WrestleMania to see that like he's still very over. But I think it's maybe to try and get everyone back in his corner. I'll be interested to see the match. I'm not gonna lie. when I think of these two, their styles, they don't necessarily gel, but then I've also got a weird feeling that they're gonna put on a great match. And I don't know where that feeling's coming from. Logan always tends to try to do something a little bit different, doesn't he? Something like that'll get him a viral clip. So I wonder what that would be in a Jey Uso match. And I just always worry slightly when Logan's in the game that the Nooks will come out and he'll get a freak win like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after Jay's just won his first title. So like I think that's why. I think you always have that doubt in your mind when Logan's in the game because you think of that corporate side of it. You think, oh, WWE might want to give Logan the belt. Like, you know what I mean? There's always that little voice. So yeah, I think these are perhaps the reasons, but it's weird that kind of they've left it at the moment. I think with Logan with the upper hand taking him out. I kind of liked it that Jay was the first one to kind of deal the blow and Logan was left in the ring. But yeah, I'm excited for the match, probably more than others because I'm intrigued. Perhaps it's curiosity more than excitement. But
Yeah, I'm intrigued too. Here's my issue with it: is what I don't want this to be. You mentioned the Nux scares me to death. The idea of that feels like David Arquette. If we want to bury the world heavyweight title, and Logan Paul has been a better wrestler, proven himself as a better wrestler than David Arquette thus far. But David Arquette can wrestle too. And we've seen stuff like this. For Jay's moment to now be, it's Logan Paul, and the idea of somehow he has to overcome Logan Paul, as big of a babyface as Jay is, he needed a bigger heel, is my only complaint. Right? He's got to overcome somebody else.
He just beat Gunther, though, I guess.
He did. He beat him.
Where do you go from there? Maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe that's the thing.
Very good point. We've got a bunch. Fernando Zayas here with Logan is the first PLA match for Jay, and he'll whoop Logan. Okay, that's fair. We've got Panda Studios with Logan is a better wrestler than Jey Uso. Prove me wrong. That's prove with a V, my friend.
I mean, athletically, maybe, but you know,
yeah,
that doesn't always get you everywhere. But you know.
I don't know. I don't know on that one. I mean, world champion, not a world champion, in the business forever, not in the business forever. We could compare resumes there when it comes to wrestling. With all due respect, David Modric, Logan is a good heel. I agree, but he's also not a heel that you have to fully overcome. Because you know he's Logan Paul. He still is a YouTuber in some ways. You know, I don't know.
He did address that in a way, I guess, straight away. He just went, I ain't going to let some YouTuber beat me when I've been...
Which
so I love. Perhaps we should just wait. Maybe it is just one of them situations.
It's a very good point. Now, Chaos, can you make a little more sense of this for us? I know you got ideas here.
You're the booker.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this feud is what I call, or what us anime fans call, a filler episode. Whereas you know, you don't really have to watch it. You know, you can easily skip it and then get to the meats and gravy later down the line. Not to say that it's going to be a bad one. It's just like it's a placeholder until the real stuff happens. But I remember I did say prior, after J1, I did say on the daily one time that there was no one else really set up to be next. So they kind of have to like just tread the waters until they get to the real meaty stuff. What that is, I have no effing clue. It probably is going to be something involving Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker down the line, but they're saving that for a much bigger show. Fair enough. But yeah, Logan Paul is a good pit stop. You could, usually the first feud isn't going to be a blockbuster. You got to kind of like prove yourself, and then not prove yourself, but you got to get some couple wins under your belt against notable names. And let's be real, Logan Paul is a notable name, and then just build your way up there to the more bigger ones later down the line. So that's why I can't really hate on it. And it's not like Logan Paul just came off an L and he's barking for a title shot. No, it was the same when Seth Rollins faced Kevin Owens back at Mania when there was no one there. He lost, but he demanded a title shot against Drew McIntyre the next night, and he got it. It's nothing like that. He won against a formidable opponent, AJ Styles, former world champion. He has certain credentials to be headlining a PLE later down the line. So yeah, it's a decent pit stop for Jay to get a good, and I think they will have put on a decent match. Again, after this, who is next? Again, I have no clue, and that's what I'm saying. It looks like they're still trying to find out what way to put him until he eventually gets a really worthy challenger, which isn't going to be Gunther. So yeah, no, I'm here for it. I feel like the brass knucks will come into play, and I feel like they're going to nerf the power of that brass knucks. I feel like Jay is going to be the first one to kick out of it, out of like the punch with the knucks. So fair enough, but yeah, you got to build up momentum somehow. So yeah, I don't mind it. It is what it is. But yeah, it's just a filler. That's a filler.
I love the call on nerf the brass knucks.
Yeah,
I love that. Or even, what if you just like matrix ducked him somehow? Right? He swings and misses. Then
I was thinking Samoan head
and the
Samoan head
splash
no sell it
or something. Right? He just Logan swings it and misses. That would be a fun spot. We haven't done that yet. Either way, though, I'm cool with it. There's plenty of it here to unpack. If we had to pick somebody, who is it that takes the title off Jay? Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Is your pick? What do you got, Jordy? Braun. So this is where I find it interesting with the alignment between Seth and Braun. I think both answers are tough.
I think Braun becomes a babyface out of this and gets the crowd behind him. And I think to do that, you give him it, and then Seth screws him over.
I have a weird feeling. Panda Studios, I've disagreed with quite a few comments, but not this one. I think the answer is Drew McIntyre.
True.
And then
I think the other way that Braun can turn face in this is if he wins the Money in the Bank. And then obviously there is some, Seth might try and say, or like, you should give it to me, I'm the leader, that kind of thing. And obviously he says no. Then during that time, somehow Seth becomes champ somehow. And then, might have the little feud between them two. I don't know, something like that. But I feel like what Braun definitely needs to do is win Money in the Bank, 110%.
Oh, yeah. I think Breaker has to win the Money in the Bank. It's almost a must win at this stage. I'm actually like 100% on the same page there, because I also think that can just cause little ripples.
That's what I'm saying.
And what's going on, like just enough tension.
I want to see it go to LA Knight. I can't lie, but I understand. It's just.
I mean, I've wanted LA Knight to win like 4 straight. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's maybe why.
Yeah, that's tip of sale, bro.
I can't keep picking LA Knight, Jordy.
He'll be in it, but he ain't gonna win it.
I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna pick him. LA Knight and Chelsea Green. That's who's gonna win.
LA Knight.
If Saudi Rumble didn't happen, I would say it would be either Sami Zayn or Braun Breaker, but most likely Sami's gonna win Saudi Rumble.
I think Chelsea will win the Money in the Bank and fail the cash.
She deserves it.
Yeah, mate. I think I'm gonna say I know Chelsea. I joke about it. I don't really, but I've listened to enough interviews to know that Chelsea cares more about making moments. And if they say, "Oh, you can win Money in the Bank, but we want you to be the first woman to ever fail the cash in," she'll say, "Yes, please, 100%. I want that." She's got the earliest elimination of the Royal Rumble. She's now the first ever US Women's Champion. Depending on how they play it, she might end up being the shortest reign ever, depending how they play it. I think she'll jump at the opportunity to also be the first ever failed cash-in in the Money in the Bank.
Just pad some negative stats.
Moments, history. I think that's what she cares about more than winning.
Actually do dig that. I think that's as fun as anything, and it's so unique to pro wrestling.
I don't know. Fun. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea wins back that title very soon. Because, like, what's going to happen with the Hervis, the secret Hervis? Like, I feel like that kind of stopped before it even got really going. So I feel like, they just wanted to get Selena Vega her win.
She put a very cryptic message that said, "Goodbye, WWE. I've been impeached," or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And is that, I think, something as little as that, and she already gets semi-cheers now and semi-boos. I know she's supposed to be a heel. Because of that, if we leave it a couple of months and you hear Chelsea Green's music, I think it'll get a cheer. And then all of a sudden, we don't boo her anymore. Maybe that's the play. but I don't know.
Turn Chelsea babyface. That
I
is
don't know how
interesting.
we've ended up talking about this. It's probably my fault.
No, I don't blame you. Honestly, it was a great conversation, but I will say that probably brings us to the end of the show, my friends. Thank you, everybody that tuned in on behalf of me, Clark, Chaos, and Jordy. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Check out Take It to the Game. As he mentioned, check out all of our content from WrestleMania week if you haven't yet. We went ballistic. Everybody worked their tails off. It was excellent. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow. That's noon Pacific, 3 o'clock in the East. It's 8 o'clock in the UK, and of course, 9 a.m. for my friends in Hawaii. Also, check out Off the Air tonight with me, Shad, and Drizzy. I'm going to fix my voice as best I can. If not, you're going to get real raspy, Clark, and don't even worry about it. So when I'm at my finest, I hope everybody had a great Tuesday, and we will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And screw Hulk Hogan and Eric